Hello everybody, welcome back to the podcast. First of all, I just want to say thank you to everyone who has donated via Cash App, Buy Me a Coffee and stickers on lives. Thanks to you, I bought the duchessofsuccess.com domain. I will be creating a website that will feature more content, pretty much anything that I'm not going to feature here. The more kind of fun Meghan related stuff like her fashion and house decor and that kind of stuff. If you're interested in all of that, that will all be featured on the blog soon as well. And I was also able to purchase a very beautiful layout for the site, which will be updated very soon. And I'm on the hunt for a new microphone, so you can expect better audio in the next couple of weeks once I've found one that I feel is good enough and budget friendly. But that is all because of you, so thank you very much. You are all awesome. And also I wanted to say thank you to everyone who purchased my beginner preparedness manual. I really appreciate it, and I hope you find it helpful and it leads you on a positive journey to preparedness for you and your families. It's never been more important than ever to incorporate preparedness into your lifestyle. So if you're interested in buying that, you can hit the link in the bio. And if you're not interested in buying it, you can also hit the other link in the bio and join the newsletter, because I'll be sending free preparedness tips on a regular basis going forward. But thank you so much to everybody who has bought the manual so far. But on to today's video, I wanted to talk about how Meghan was presented from the very moment it became clear that she was Harry's girlfriend. Because if you didn't know Meghan before and you're someone who just follows what the press says, you wouldn't know just how accomplished she was. And when I joined the squad and got to know about her previous accomplishments, I was just mind blown. And it led me to the question of whether or not the firm tried to deliberately erase Meghan's high achieving past. I've always wondered, was it Meghan's choice to shut down, for example, her blog The Tig, or did the institution ask her to? Because if you've ever watched interviews about Meghan talking about her blog, and I'll put a link below to some interviews that I think are worth watching, it was her baby, and I can understand her no longer updating it because she'd have to focus on royal duties. But I don't understand shutting it down completely and not having it remain as an archive, because you can still find archives of it floating around that fans have made, so it's not like they could have ever erased it totally. I've always wondered about that because it was quite an impressive collection of articles about her world travels, interviews with different tastemakers and industry insiders. She interviewed Priyanka Chopra, so all of those people who say that she didn't have A-list friends before she met Harry can sit down. She knew many high-profile people, and it really showcased Meghan as someone who was very cultured, connected, business-savvy, entrepreneurial, and well-travelled. When Meghan's profile was added to the royal family's website, however, not much about her prior accomplishments were mentioned in great detail. It was very vague, and given just how much she had done before entering the firm, it could have easily been 3 pages long. And while her royal family profile has always been a little bit thin, more recently it was updated and several sections were taken out, specifically the sections about her being, quote, a proud feminist and having a keen awareness of social issues, while previously it had briefly spoken about her young campaigning, including how she worked to get a TV advert for a washing up liquid changed, to get rid of a sexist comment. As we all know, that was a Procter & Gamble ad, but that is now gone, and there is no mention of any other accomplishments like the Together cookbook, Smartworks collection and Vogue issue, which she worked on whilst she was in the firm. So you would expect that at least those would be there, but for some reason they're not. The way I see it, from the moment it was known that Meghan was dating Harry, the campaign within the firm to tarnish her name began. I think that palace staff would have done their background checks and realised, actually, this girl is not just a pretty face, this is someone with a lot to her name. Worse still, it's a woman of colour with a lot to her name, and she's worked her butt off to get it. I feel that there are people within the firm who knew from day one she would be a disturbance to the order. because in upper class aristo circles, they obtain their positions by birth, marriage, or clawing their way through the class system by acquiring connections or by paying their way through and making it very difficult for outsiders to get within their circles. And if you do get within their circles, you're expected to bow down, be grateful to just be there, and not steal away the spotlight from those at the very top. Prior to her entering the royal family, Meghan had worked on various projects, met with several diplomats, something that royals do regularly, and that should have been proof that she could fit into royal life despite being an outsider. Showing up to ribbon-cutting events in Mary Poppins cosplay and making small talk with dignitaries for the cameras doesn't take a lifetime to master, so quite frankly, anybody could do it. But here we have someone who was already a natural, had met many dignitaries, came from a Hollywood background, so she could also handle the pressures of being in the public eye, and on top of that, she had plenty of experience in project management and running a team via her blog and other projects. Yet pretty much throughout her entire time being introduced to the public as Harry's girlfriend, they only focused on her role as an actress and used her profession to paint her as someone who is fake and superficial, which I think many have pointed out was very hypocritical because William is head of BAFTA. So if we don't like Hollywood actresses and actors, then why is the future King of England the head of BAFTA? But despite the fact that she had done several high-profile editorial shoots with the likes of Elle and lifestyle shoots for brands, the British press consistently chose to use pictures of her time on, for example, Deal or No Deal, which there is nothing wrong with, great job if you can get it, but in the minds of certain tough-nosed Brits, they would look down upon something like that. So I think that's why they consistently try to push her gigs as an actress and as a Deal or No Deal girl to somehow make it seem like she wasn't worthy of being Harry's girlfriend or being in the royal family. And it's just the fact that that's all they wanted to reduce her to when she's done so much more. The press did all they could to make it out like she wasn't good enough to be in the firm, when actually she was way too good for the firm. She was overqualified, more qualified than anyone in that institution to be a role model for the nation, and actually eager to work and make measurable, impactful change, which she did in her short time, more than anyone else in that family, because they focus on short-lived PR stunts and really only aim to stay in the public consciousness as some kind of symbol for national greatness, I guess, as opposed to actually doing anything great for the nation and serving the nation and its people, because the people are meant to serve the monarchy's purse strings as far as they're concerned. And I've said before that it never needed to be a competition between Meghan and Kate, but as soon as the press and some quarters of the British public started undermining Meghan in order to prop up Kate, well, they made it a competition. And I don't think that we can ignore that this is the experience of a lot of women of colour. We're never expected to be good, and when we show ourselves to be impeccably great, that also becomes a problem. I can't imagine how Harry must have felt thinking that he was bringing home someone that his family would be very much impressed by and ready to take on royal duties, which I will continue to point out aren't anything other than photo ops most of the time anyway. But instead, they treated her accomplishments as something to be hidden away at the risk of upstaging everyone else in that family. If my brother was able to bag someone of Meghan's stature, I would be so proud. I would be bragging to everyone and anyone I know, like, guys, do you know what a bad boo, what a bastion of excellence my brother has managed to bag? That's something that most people, I think, would be proud of, because when you bring someone into your family, you are either bringing in someone that's going to add to your family's health, wealth, and happiness, or chip away at it, maybe even destroy it. Instead, Meghan's achievements became a threat, because with Catherine, other than her art history degree, which is a worthy achievement, not to dismiss that, but other than that, she was really just primed by her family to be a wealthy man's wife. And she wanted what she thought was the highest prize in the realm, but you know what they say, be careful what you wish for. And the image of monarchy and how people felt about it back then is rapidly changing now, especially after almost 2 years of a health crisis and lockdowns and everything that has come with that. People are starting to have all kinds of conversations about wealth, class, and privilege. Quite frankly, the best thing Kate could have done is just marry another one of these rich dudes in the upper circles. I think she would have been a lot happier and not expected to work, but now she has to keep up with the comparisons to Meghan, and William has to keep up with the comparisons to Harry, and so they both have to work. And we all know that Harry was just always meant to be the third wheel. The spare was never meant to outshine the heir, and he has. Even the Derangers, when they are eventually bored, are going to have to sit back and ask how Britain let go of someone who was so accomplished just as one person, then came into the monarchy and despite only being 50% of herself, still did a lot. What more if she had had the support of the monarchy? What could Britain have gained from that? Because right now, it's other countries that are enjoying the charitable fruits of Harry and Meghan's generosity, and also the Sussex Squad's generosity. We have consistently raised tens of thousands of pounds for charity on behalf of Harry, Meghan, and their children. And I think about the fact that right now in Britain, there is a serious threat of food shortages. No one really knows how severe they would be. They may not be that bad at all, but when I consider that one of Harry and Meghan's biggest passions is food insecurity, and this is linked to the work that they're doing with World Central Kitchen, I can't help but just shake my darn head. All of that charity has been lost. Meanwhile, as we continue to survey the damage of the pandemic, the monarchy is sitting on hundreds of millions, if not billions, depending on whose guesstimate you believe. The Derangers are occupied with the Sussexes right now because they're still eating and full. God forbid the financial analysts are right and we find ourselves in more hardships after mass government spending, which could potentially cause a bubble burst. The hungry peasants are going to have their eyes and their anger squarely fixated on the rich, wealthy, and most visible, who do nothing and continue to do nothing, and maybe, just maybe, they'll wonder, why is it that they joined in this hate campaign against Meghan, somebody who just wanted to help? That is all for today's video. Thank you as always for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one, my darlings. Ciao!